It's Tim, and I'm just going to show you how to light the wood burning stove for the hot tub. It's really simple. First of all, you build a little platform of kindling that we're just going to zoom in now. So you just need 4 bits of kindling along the bottom, and then I put 2 either side of the firelighters here, and then I put another 2 pieces of kindling like that. Okay, and then I light it with some long handled matches, and all this is supplied for you, by the way: logs, kindling, firelighters and matches. Okay, so I'm just going to light the firelighters. So it's quite easy to do to start off with, and then just take a couple of small logs and just put them on the little platform that you built, just like that, and then just close the door, make sure your vent is fully open, and then just leave it for 2 minutes while those logs take. Right, okay, so we've given it a couple of minutes to get going, and now I'm just going to keep on adding logs. So that's a good start. I'm going to close it again. As I say, leave this open, this vent. You just slide it backwards and forwards. There will be a time when we have to close it, but in the meantime, when you're going like this, just leave it open. So the aim is to keep on adding logs until you actually fill the stove up to the maximum capacity of logs and have them all blazing away at the same time. You can use heat-proof gloves that are supplied, and also these tongs to poke them in again. And then once you get to that stage, and you filled the thing, you need to check the temperature of the hot tub, and in it you'll see there is a floating thermometer, which is conveniently at the other side. Can you see that? So there's a thermometer. You want to check that every 20 or 25 minutes, and you're basically aiming to get a temperature of 38 degrees. That is the optimum temperature for using the hot tub. If you go over a few degrees, it's still okay, but if you go to say 44 degrees, it's too hot to use. Likewise, if you only get to 34 or 35 degrees, it's a little bit on the cool side. So 38 degrees is your optimum temperature, and to get that, you keep checking the thermometer. You also stir the water with this stirrer, because the cold water will be at the bottom and the hot water will be at the top, and make sure that the temperature that you're reading is from stirred water. Okay, so once you get to 29 degrees, now this is another magic number, then just make sure that in your stove, instead of having a full load, you've got a half load of logs, all burning away nicely. So not full, not just a few embers, but half a load of logs burning away. And then do not add any more logs. Okay, keep on going until the temperature, just leave it and the temperature will continue to rise, and once you get to 38, just close this vent, just like that. So when you're heating the hot tub up, always leave the lid on, because that way it will heat up quicker, just like it would do if you were boiling an egg. Put the lid on the saucepan. But when you need to take it off, it's easier if you just slide it back like this until you reach the tipping point, and then gently lower it down so that it then gets onto the pavers. Don't drop it, otherwise you'll damage the lid, and then just swing it round like that. Have the long side on the pavers, not on the gravel, leaning against the hut, and without this bit sticking out over there, so that when you come up and down the steps you're not going to knock into it. So this is where the hot water comes from the boiler once it reached temperature, and I can already see that the hot water is starting to come out because there's a slight shimmer. Very, very important is that you must never let the water level get below that hot water outlet. If it does, then we're in big trouble, and you need to top up the water before it does that with the hose pipe and tap that is just round the corner. Now there's no reason for it to drop to that level, but if it does for whatever reason, just be aware that it's very dangerous. Stop adding any logs to the fire, contact me and fill it up with water. So just here we have a little light switch. Now it has 8 settings. You just press it on and a red light will come on and it lights up the water in the tub. Now you can only see it when it's dark, but it does look lovely when it's dark, and you've got 8 different colours to choose from. If you go through, if you just click it one time, you'll get red, number 2 is green, etc, etc, until you get to the 8th, and then you get to one that it changes the colours automatically, which is everybody's favourite generally. The 9th click turns it off. As you can see, we've got a filter. We usually run that for 1 or 2 hours most days. The water is already sanitized with a non-chlorine based sanitizer, so it is safe to use for up to a week, but we often put the filter on just because it keeps the water looking a little bit nicer. I'll come up and turn it on when you're out, and I'll see when you're out because you'll have drawn the bolt on the gate, so that indicates to me that you're not here. I'll turn it on. It's just a little switch under here, and if you come back and it's on and you want to turn it off, just look for this bolt here, and then underneath you'll find the switch under a pull down lid, and you can just turn it off. There's a 13 amp plug socket, or there's 2 13 amp plugs, one for the LED light and one for the filter. So if you want to turn it off when you get back, because I haven't come up and turned it off basically, you're welcome to turn it off rather than listen to the noise. So give me the point. So we've now got the at full capacity. It's burning nicely. It usually takes about 15 logs to get it to the 38 degrees, and we supply enough logs to do it 1 per day of your stay. So if you find you're on 20 logs, you're going to overshoot. So so just bear in mind about 15 logs when it's nice weather. If it's really cold weather, it is going to take more. If it's really hot, it takes less. It's simple as that. So I'm now going to put the lid back on, and it's basically you just manhandle it, lower it down gently, and then slide it across. Just a little word of warning, everything gets quite hot when this is going. This is a heat guard here, so if you do accidentally touch this, it's not going to burn you. Do not touch it up there, of course, it's very hot. And do not touch the actual outer casing of the stove. Even these, the on and off, the vent switch and the opening door latch, that can get hot. So if it's too hot for you to use, if it's uncomfortable, just use one of the heat-proof gloves. So, a few health and safety rules. The NHS advise you not to drink alcohol while you're using the hot tub. We know that most people do like to have a drink when they're using it, and so if you choose not to follow the advice, we do insist that you use the plastic glasses that are in the hut. So you've got plastic champagne flutes, beer glasses and wine glasses. Use those. This is virtually ready-made little tray for a wine. One wine glass there, one wine glass there. One person sat there, one person sat there. It's delightful. Getting in and out of the hot tub, just be mindful of the fact that because you're going from a hot environment to a cold environment, your blood pressure can drop. So if you feel at all dizzy when you're getting out of the hut, then just sit out of the tub, just sit back down and recognize that that's what's happening and let yourself stabilize. Don't try and get out and think I'll go and sit down on the sofa, because you've got to get down those steps and you've got to walk across this very hard paving, so it's best not to try. It's best if you have a shower before you use it. Again, it's up to you, it's your water and it is sanitized for up to a week, and we do have the filter. However, if any of you are wearing fake tan, you must shower that off, because if you don't, it can stain the white lining, and that would be very difficult to clean off. Right, I'm just going to run through some general things about the shepherd's hut. So first of all, here is a outside light switch. Okay, it lights two there. You also have an outside light here that is controllable in the hut. We also have solar lighting, which is pointing down at this step, and that's just to remind you that there is a little step here. Once you go through the gate, you've got automatic lighting that lights up the steps and then along the drive to the road. So if you go out and you're coming back at night and it is dark, there is street lights from Polperro up to about 100 metres from the driveway. And it's only a 5-minute walk down into Polperro, by the way, but it is a steep hill, so allow about 10 minutes to get back. Once you're on the unlit bit of the road, it can get very dark. So make sure you've got either a torch or a phone with a torch in it and you've got a good charge. Other things, we've got a dustbin just here and the washing line. You can put anything you like in the dustbin, it gets taken away and recycled, so you don't have to worry about sorting things. Just put it in, it's guilt-free, but it still gets recycled. And there's a washing line there to hang anything you want on it. We've got a nice little area with a pond. It's a little kind of wildflower meadow, and there's a seating area and pond with frogs and newts and other wildlife things that you probably won't be able to see, but it's there and it's quite pleasant to sit out there. Okay, so here we have a barbecue and a fire pit. We don't provide charcoal, but you can get charcoal in the village. The fire pit, you can use your logs if you want to, but we have sycamore logs over there, and you can use those, and then you can save your high quality ash logs for the wood burner. If you use the barbecue, so here we have cushions for the outdoor seating and also barbecue tools, and there's a wire brush and some barbecue cleaner just to give it just to clean off the grill when you're finished with it. So the gates have bolts, they also have a hook and eye, which is useful to put it on if you're going up and down, like loading or unloading your car. But when all that's done, bolt yourself in, and when you go out, bolt yourself out. Okay, so inside the hut we have a shower. It's an electric shower. When you're using it, it's best not to run any other high voltage appliances like the kettle or the induction hob, because it does use quite a lot of energy that we're sending up on the armoured cable, and it could trip the switch. While we're on the shower, if the shower isn't hot enough, and sometimes it doesn't get hot enough when it's cold weather, just keep the temperature gauge on max but lower the flow, and you still get plenty of flow for a shower, but the temperature will rise. Okay, there's also an electric stove in the hut. If it is chilly, just switch it on at at the plug socket, and it will heat the hut up in about 10 minutes. But don't leave it on when you go out, and don't leave it on when you're actually outside in the hot tub. Okay, there's also a fold-out dining table. So if the weather doesn't allow you to eat outside, you can fold the dining table out, and there are also 2 fold-up dining chairs under the plank at the foot of the bed. There are 3 light switches. The one nearest the TV end of the hut, it doesn't pop out when you put it in, so just pull it out and it will work. So pop it in and pull it out. Okay. There's also a small dehumidifier that we have on top of the mini oven. If it's rainy and you're inside watching TV all day, heaven forbid, but put the dehumidifier on if you like, because it will help clear some of the condensation that will build up. That is just about it. So I hope you have a lovely holiday. Any questions, you can contact us.